Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. I'm going to get straight to the point of this video. We are going to be talking about Cece and Bella's blankets. On August 13th, when Chris Watts first arrives home, Officer Coonrod asked him if he noticed anything were missing in the house, and Chris said that the only thing that he had noticed that was missing was the girls' blankets and that they never leave the house without them. Well, for once, Chris is telling the truth. Cece and Bella did have blankets that they were extremely attached to. If you follow Shanann's Facebook, you see in her lives or even her photos, Cece always has that blue Yankee blanket with her. She had it since she was in the crib, and it reminds me of those Mexican blankets you can get in Mexico. They're really thick, really warm and soft. As for Bella, Bella had more of a smaller blanket she always carried with her, or always had. It was white with a pink fringe around it, and it reminded me of like a little doll blanket. That's how small it was to me. I'm going to go ahead and put some photos of Cece and Bella with their blankets. I wanted to put those photos in the video because I just want you guys to remember what Cece and Bella's blankets look like. And now I'm going to read a little part of the letter that Chris Watts wrote that you can find in the book by Sherilyn Cato, The Murders of Christopher Watts. And just a little warning, this might be a sensitive subject for some. I am going to be talking about what Chris did to Bella and Cece the night of the murders. Chris Watts said, on August 12th, when I finished putting the girls to bed, I walked away and said, that's the last time I'm going to be tucking my babies in. I knew what I was about to do the day before, and I did nothing to stop it. I was numb to the entire world. I had literally taken my kids to a birthday party, played water balloons, had an amazing time, sang songs all the way home, gave them both a shower, ate dinner, read bedtime stories, and sang bedtime songs, and still nothing registered. Okay guys, now I'm going to play you the little part in the prison interview with Chris Watts. And I know the audio is super bad and I do apologize, but I want you guys just to hear it, what he says he did to Cece and Bella. And you guys, I do believe that Chris did try to attempt to murder the girls at the house, but they did wake back up, because in the prison interview, you guys, he slips up and he says they woke back up. So let me go ahead and play that for you. Again, the audio is shit. I don't know whose idea was it to secretly record this, have the recorder in the pocket, but we'll make do.
I'm drunk. Yeah, I'm sorry. So Shanann was first, and then Bella was next. Was Bella alive when you guys got in the truck? Oh, okay. What happened? I woke back up. Okay.
I don't really want to talk just about this part, honestly.
Okay.
Those are my kids. This is my baby. I just talk to them every night. Help me see them.
Okay.
So you put Shanann in the truck, and then you put the two girls in the truck? Were they just sitting in their car seats, or I guess they didn't probably have car seats in your truck, did they?
Just sitting in the back with the, like in that bench.
So Shanann was back there too?
On the floor.
What did they say about Shanann being on the floor?
Mommy, okay.
What'd you tell them?
She'll be fine.
Did you have their stuff with them? Their toys and their blankets and stuff?
They had something with them that they carried. One of them, I think Cece and Bella had like a blanket or something with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a big blanket.
What about the dog? I think one of them had a dog, right? That talked, or dog?
Yeah, one of them had like a little barking dog.
Was that with you too? Do you know?
I think it was. Trying to to try to remember, like, if
Yeah.
they had, like, the big blanket, small blanket.
So, I think I saw on the video that you put a gas can or something in the back.
CC was first. She did have a blanket. She had a blue blanket. A Yankee blanket.
So was she alive when she went into the oil tank? No.
I put the blanket over her head.
And that's how she passed. Couldn't breathe.
No. I put the blanket over her head. I didn't want to. No. I strangled her right there in the back seat.
Okay.
What was Bella doing?
She was there.
Did she understand? Did she know what was going on?
Didn't say anything.
And then the same for Bella. Just without a blanket.
With the blanket.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look. It's like every time I close my eyes, I just hear her say, "Daddy, no," and that was it.
That's what Bella said.
I hear that every day.
Do you really? Bella was still in the back of the truck alive. Okay. Tell me what happened there.
She said, "What happened to Cece?" First, she asked, "It's the same thing, the exact same thing that happened to me as Cece."
Did she ask you that? Okay. So Bella's pretty smart.
I don't remember what I said.
Okay.
I don't say if I just said yes, like a horrible person, or if I just put that blanket over her too and did the same thing.
When we look at the body cam for August 13th, I have been watching this video day and night, and I think it's so important, that video, because one, Chris didn't realize Nicole Atkinson was going to show up. He didn't know they were going to call the cops, and how he left the house is important because I think he still obviously thought he had time to clean up or do whatever he needed to do. And I know there are people who are trying to question Nicole Atkinson calling so early or her friends being so worried about her. But at the end of the day, you guys, does that even matter? Because thank God she did call them, because if she didn't, who knows what Chris could have gotten away with. When we look at Bella's bed on August 13th, when they first arrived there, you're going to see that the little pink blanket that she always sleeps with isn't on her bed. And when we look at Cece's bed, we're going to see that her Yankee blue blanket is also missing from her bed. I have been looking at this body cam video so much to find that Yankee blanket and the pink blanket that Bella always had. And some people had said that Shanann had two Yankee blankets, one for Bella and one for Cece. But in Shanann's Facebook, there is not one photo that I can find that showed two of those blankets. So I believe that's just a rumor and there was only one and it belonged to Cece. As for the pink little blanket that Chris was talking about for Bella, for that one, Shanann did have two, one for Cece and one for Bella, because there are photos of each of them having one. So now we're moving to the laundry area, and right here you're going to see a white pillow and what looks like a gray blanket folded on the shelf. I'm not too sure if it's a blanket or a sheet. I go more towards a blanket just because for a sheet it looks a little big. And as for the white pillow, you can tell it's clearly missing its pillowcase. And when we look at Shanann and Chris's bedroom, there's 4 pillows in one corner, 2 are missing a pillowcase, 2 have it, and then there's one more thrown on the other side of the bed that has a pillowcase. And we know they found 3 pillowcases in the trash, so I'm wondering, is this the missing pillow that goes to one of those pillowcases that belonged in Shanann's room? Also in the discovery, it says the washing machine door was open and it appeared there were a couple of child clothing items in the washer. It also says that there was a load of clothes in the dryer, as you can clearly see. Now the photo you're looking at right now, this is when, again, they are first on the scene. This is when Baumhofer is now there. And you can see that there's the two girls' little sofas. It looks like a pink pillow, pair of cargo shorts or pants possibly. There's a yellow ball on the floor. And then in the corner right there, I've looked at that so many times, and to me, it kind of resembles dumbbells, but I'm not 100% sure. But again, this is from when they first are on the scene. So after Baumhofer leaves the scene on the 13th, within an hour or so, other officers arrive with the paperwork for the search of the house, and that's what you're looking at right now. And you're going to see on the floor, there's two pillows that are clearly missing the pillowcases on them. Then you're going to have some clothes and those shorts right there. Sadly, those are the ones that Shanann had just bought Chris because he had lost all this weight. And then you see the blue glove and the two pillows with obviously the pillowcases still attached to them. Now, when the officer walks towards the bathroom, on the right-hand side corner, you're going to see what appears to be the blue Yankee blanket. And remember, earlier in the day, this blanket wasn't sitting on those little mini sofas. And just so you guys are all clear, this is the same day. The photo you're looking at right now, that's when they first arrived on the scene, when we see Nicole Atkinson, her son, and then Officer Coonrod and Baumhofer come over. And some believe that that blanket was there the whole time, that it was in the corner and the officer just moved it when he was looking around. That is a possibility, but with the photo I'm showing you right now, I just don't see a blanket. Now, when we look at the discovery, you can easily type in a blanket, and there's about 15 different pages that will talk about something relating to the blankets. And right here, Chris told in his statement that the only things were missing from the house were the girls' blankies. And then he says they usually take their blankies whenever they leave the house. Cece had a New York Yankees blanket, a little dinosaur, a turtle, and an animated dog. Bella had two blankies, but one was left at the house. Then it says that the other blanket that Bella had was a swan blanket, and that one was missing. So I had to go back to Shanann's Facebook to see what other blanket Bella always slept with. And she did have a purple plush blanket that she always had on her bed and she slept with. And interesting, Chris said that that one was missing. But on the body cam video from the 13th, you can clearly see Bella's purple plush blanket folded on her bed. But after the 13th, when Chris was able to clean the house and get rid of stuff, on the 14th, you can see that her bed is made and her purple blanket is no longer there. And you can now see that her pink little blanket she always had with her is now folded nicely on her pillow. So what did Chris do with that purple blanket? Now, going back to the discovery, they do ask Chris what happened to those blankets and if he specifically put them in the oil tanks. And he said no, he didn't. He did say that the blankies would be near where the sheet was, but when they went back to go look, the blankets were not nowhere on that site. Law enforcement did also go and search for those items at the Survey 1029 and Survey 1129, but they were not found. And then Troy McCoy had told them that Chris was possibly trying to get rid of evidence at one of the sites. It says that McCoy told agents that Watts had parked his work vehicle on the south side of the holding tank so Watts could pretty much use the restroom. McCoy thought Watts may have buried evidence there. We were able to locate an area of the ground which appeared to be recently disturbed, as well as tire tracks on the south side of the holding tanks. We used a shovel to carefully scrape off the top layer of dirt. We recovered what appeared to be paper towels along with what appeared to be pretty much Chris's shit. Nothing else was located in that area. Also in the discovery, it says that Frank Rusek had said that it was not uncommon for there to be a blanket on the couch in the loft and that it was usually a king-size blue or burgundy blanket. He also said that he was colorblind, so the colors may be off. He said that it was not unusual for Shanann to sleep on the couch in the loft. Now, when we first go and see the living room on the 13th, I do see a blanket that's sitting on the couch. It does look dark in color, and I'm wondering if this is the blanket that Frank was talking about. Then it just says again that Frank said the big blue blanket was typically on the couch, and Baumhover made a note and it said this blanket had never been located to date. And if you guys remember on the 14th when Chris was being surveillanced, it is noted that he was seen putting blankets and a cooler inside of the Lexus. And we also know that on the 15th when he was arrested and they took the Lexus and documented what they had found inside of it, there was no blankets and no cooler that were recovered. So who knows if this is one of the blankets that Frank was talking about that maybe Chris ended up getting rid of. Now, for that blanket that was on the mini sofa on the 13th that I showed you guys earlier, I always thought that was the Yankee blanket and that Chris was just lying and he never really used that blanket or took it to the scene. But after more research, and one of my subs sent me this photo, it's actually after Chris was arrested and they went and bagged up some evidence. This photo was taken and you can see the blanket is still there. And when I zoomed in and started comparing it with the other blankets at the house, I now think that this is the Stiller's blanket that they had. And just knowing how law enforcement went above and beyond to look for those blankets, I'm sure that they sent the Rusek's photos of what blankets were left in the house. So if this was the Yankee blanket, I would think that law enforcement would have been aware of it, and especially Shanann's family would have been aware of it, and they would have said something like Chris is lying, the Yankee blanket was found at the house. So that plus this photo, I now believe that Chris did take the Yankee blanket with him. I think he carried Cece with it. So here's my conclusion when it comes to the blankets. Before Chris Watts arrived home on August 13th, he made a stop at an address 6507 Black Mesa Road. Right there in Erie, he was there per his GPS for 4 minutes. I believe this is when he dumped the blanket and whatever he had of the girls inside a trash can right there. And unfortunately, law enforcement never recovered it, so those items are now lost. As for the blanket that Frank Sr. is talking about, I believe Chris Watts took that blanket and Bella's blanket to the Thayer's house on the 14th. I already explained how law enforcement from surveillance seen him putting blankets and a cooler in the Lexus, and we know that when he was arrested, those blankets were never recovered, nor was the cooler. Speaking of that cooler, something else I noticed when I was looking at all of these different body cams, how a water bottle was underneath the bed in the basement, and I don't know, it just has my brain going, but I'll save that for another video. And lastly, the pillow that's seen in the laundry room. I do believe that that's a missing pillow that goes on Shanann's bed. Like I said, she had 4 pillows on the left side and 2 were missing the pillowcase and 2 had them. Then the one that's thrown on the complete opposite side clearly has a pillowcase. So we know there's 3 pillowcases inside the trash. So where is that missing pillow? I believe it's that one right there in the laundry room. So the questions I'm left with after doing the research for this video is, why would Chris take the time to do the girls' laundry on Sunday knowing he was going to murder them? It just seems odd that he would take the time to still wash their clothes. 2, who put the pillow in the laundry area? And when did Chris put the sheet and pillowcases inside the trash? Or was it someone else who did all of these things? When Chris is questioned about when he put the sheet and pillowcase inside of the trash, he was almost dumbfounded. He didn't even really know how to answer that question. So that's going to wrap up this video. I am so glad this video is done. I have spent so much time doing research. I can honestly say I never want to look at a body cam video again. Okay, maybe just a week. With that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys take the time to like this video and share it. It is a free way you can show your love and support for me, and it does let YouTube know, like, hey, let's get the video out there, and it helps my channel grow. So with that being said, I will talk to you guys all soon. Bye.